Yes, thank you for taking my call. Do you do God? Is doing God an obstacle to being Prime Minister?
Liz, are you a believer?
No, I'm not. I mean, I grew up in. I mean, my parents are Christians. I grew up in the Methodist Church, actually, but I'm not. I'm agnostic. But they did teach me that a belief in giving back to the community, and that our family would do better if our area did better. And they were always very involved in the church as well as my local school and new parents groups, and that sense of caring for others and thinking about the impact that you have on other people's lives was what I grew up with. So the beliefs and values are
interesting. You say you're an agnostic rather than an atheist. Why is that?
Probably when I was younger, I was an atheist, but I've seen the strength that people get from faith, and I wouldn't presume that I have all the answers. That's the truth of it.
Yvette?
I give actually a surprisingly similar answer to Liz, actually. I think,
terribly tedious.
I know, vaguely agnostic. I don't really do God. But actually, I think my parents probably brought me up with quite Christian values, but I think I only realised that afterwards, because we didn't really, we didn't go to church at home, we were active background. But I think it's that strong sense of helping your neighbour, of working hard, but always helping your neighbour, and was something that we grew up as part of.
Andy?
Brought up a Catholic, and my kids are at Catholic school. Why? Because I believe that the grounding it gave me in terms of values, I think Liz was just saying this, was something I wanted them to have. But do I now do God? Well, no, I'm agnostic.
So you're one of these parents that doesn't do God, but you send your kids to a Catholic school. Isn't there a bit of a...
Oh, you could, yes, possibly, but that's my identity, if you like. That's where I came from. I believe that I was an altar boy when I was younger.
Really?
I was, and I remember reading the catechism as we had to do. And there's a thing called Catholic social teaching, which is really very much directly linked to the values of the Labour Party, and that was what forged me as a young person. And I wanted my kids to have the same.
You were an altar boy. I was a bell ringer. Jeremy Corbyn, what were you?
I went to a Catholic primary school, although my parents were Church of England or agnostic. I find the issue of faith fascinating, but I don't think politicians should ever parade their faith or be elected by their faith or allow a particular faith to dominate what government decisions are about. I think secular government and secular education and secular life is very, very important. I spend an awful lot of time in mosques, churches, synagogues, temples, all kinds of faith communities. I find them very, very fascinating and interesting people. And there's a common thread that runs through all of them. One is supportive of each other. The other is inclusivity and supportive of the local community, and also reaching out and trying to help people in distress. I'm going to give you an example. There was a lovely moment. Very quickly. There was a dreadful incident in Muswell Hill 2 years ago, when a Islamic centre was burnt down. The local synagogue came along and offered them space to carry on their work as a Muslim centre. That was, to me, true faith solidarity, and that's the kind of thing we should admire, support and respect.
Okay,